My mother was talking to my brother about you today. Her words carried the same careful weight they always do, gentle in tone, but sharp in meaning. I could not hear every word, but I didn't need to. I have learned to read the silence between sentences, to feel the tremor behind measured smiles. She spoke of you not as one speaks of an enemy, nor as one speaks of a friend, but as one speaks of a question that has no answer. I wonder if she knows how her every concern cuts deeper than an accusation. In her eyes, love is something to be managed, not felt. Loyalty, something to be proven again and again. She believes she protects me, yet in her protection, she has made me a prisoner of her caution. I stood in the corridor, unseen, hearing only fragments. Your name, my brother's sigh, the quiet rustle of silk as she paced the floor. Even now, I can picture the scene clearly. My mother's face half lit by the morning sun, her expression torn between affection and fear. My brother, ever the dutiful son, nodding, agreeing, pretending to understand a pain that is not his. They speak as if I am still a child, incapable of knowing my own heart. Perhaps to them I will always be that, a boy wearing a crown too heavy for his head, too blind to see where his heart may lead him astray. You have become the subject of whispers in every corner of this palace. Servants fall silent when I enter. Courtiers glance away when your name is mentioned. They do not understand what you are to me. They cannot. To them, affection is weakness, connection a threat. They measure worth in lineage and titles, not in truth or warmth. Yet when I think of you, the world outside the palace walls feels less cruel, less hollow. You remind me that beyond duty and deceit, there still exists something pure, something real, and that terrifies them more than any enemy could. My mother fears that you will change me. Perhaps she is right. You already have. Her world, built upon tradition and control, cannot make room for someone who moves with such freedom, who speaks without fear, who dares to look at me not as a prince, but as a man. In you, I find the reflection of who I wish to be, not bound by rules carved in stone, but guided by the pulse of the heart. It is a dangerous wish, I know. In this palace, even love must wear armor. My brother, though silent, is not innocent in this. He listens to her worries with faint sympathy, yet I have seen the glint of envy in his eyes. He believes my affection for you weakens my rule, that I risk the respect of the court for the warmth of your smile. He does not understand that strength without heart is merely cruelty polished to perfection. Still, he watches me carefully, waiting for me to stumble, to give him reason to doubt. In his silence, I hear ambition whispering its familiar song. Sometimes I wonder if you sense it too, the walls closing in, the quiet war fought in glances and gestures. There are days I wish I could take you far from here, away from these corridors that echo with judgment. But a prince cannot run. The crown is both shield and shackle, and love in its truest form becomes both rebellion and risk. I live in the balance between them, torn between the duty I was born to uphold and the freedom I long to claim. Tonight, as I stand by my window, I can still hear the faint echo of my mother's voice in the hall, soft, resolute, unyielding. She believes she speaks for my good, yet she does not see that her words only draw me closer to you. Perhaps that is the irony of all this. The more they try to keep you from me, the deeper I fall into the gravity of your presence. And though the world may turn its back, though kingdoms may rise and fall, there is one truth that even the crown cannot silence. Every time they speak your name, my heart remembers why it beats. The day passed slowly, every hour stretching into eternity. I attended the council, signed decrees, nodded at nobles who bowed too deeply. Yet my mind was far from the room. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her lips forming your name, and my brother's faint, uneasy smile beside her. The weight of their words hung over me like a shadow I could not escape. Even the light that filtered through the stained glass windows seemed dimmer today, as if the palace itself disapproved of the thoughts I dared to carry. Power, I have learned, demands silence, and yet love insists on being heard. The two war within me endlessly. When the evening arrived, I found myself wandering through the old garden. The one my mother once tended before politics stole her gentleness. The roses there bloom even in defiance of neglect. Their thorns draw blood, yet their fragrance lingers as though mocking pain itself. I thought of you then. How every time you speak, you remind me that beauty can coexist with danger. Perhaps that is why I am drawn to you. You are not safe, not easy to love, yet utterly impossible to forget. In your eyes, I see the kind of freedom I was never meant to have, and yet crave with every breath I take. I sometimes wish I could explain to my mother what you mean to me, but she would not understand. To her, love is a transaction, a treaty of alliances, not of hearts. She would remind me of my duty, of my bloodline, of the history written long before I was born. She would say that affection fades, but legacy endures. Yet what legacy is worth anything if the heart beneath the crown turns to stone? I have seen kings who ruled lands vast and rich, but died unloved and unmourned. I do not wish to be remembered only in history books. I wish to be remembered in a heartbeat that once raced for me. My brother has grown quieter since that conversation. His silence has become louder than his words ever were. He studies me when he thinks I do not notice, perhaps curious, perhaps jealous, perhaps both. I cannot decide whether he envies my heart or fears it. He was always the one who followed every rule, every command, never questioning, never feeling beyond what was permitted. To him, my defiance is foolishness. To me, his obedience is emptiness. Yet in his gaze I see the reflection of the future my mother dreams of. One where love is an inconvenience, easily silenced by duty. It terrifies me that she may have already chosen him to be the image of her perfect hair. Every night I tell myself I will forget you, that I will lock your memory away with all the other forbidden things my heart has buried. And yet, when dawn breaks, your name returns with the first breath of morning. It comes unbidden, like sunlight slipping through closed curtains. I wonder if you know how deep your presence runs within me. I wonder if you ever feel the pull, as I do, the invisible thread that binds us across silence and space. They call it weakness, this longing. But to me, it feels like truth. The only truth I have left in a world built upon lies. Sometimes I dream of another life, one where crowns are nothing but ornaments, where love does not need permission, where my mother's eyes are soft again and my brother smiles without envy. In that life I walk beside you freely, not as a prince, but as a man unafraid of what the world might say. But every morning I wake to the same reality. The marble floors, the golden halls, the quiet expectations that weigh upon me like invisible chains. And still I hold on to the dream, for it is the only place where I can truly breathe. Now as night descends upon the palace, I feel the same ache I did when I first heard her speaking your name. It was not anger I felt then, it was fear. Fear that her words might reach you, that her disapproval might build walls between us stronger than any I can tear down. Yet even if the whole world were to turn its gaze against us, I would not deny what I feel. For in this endless labyrinth of duty and deception, you are the only truth I have ever known. And though I may be a prince by blood, I am only human in love, flawed, foolish, and irrevocably yours. The night has fallen thick and soundless, blanketing the palace in stillness. The corridors are lit only by the trembling glow of torches. their flames bending to every whisper of wind that dares to slip through the ancient stone. I walk in silence, the echo of my own footsteps following me like a ghost. Each step feels like trespass, as though I walk not toward you, but toward my undoing, and perhaps I do. Yet what is a life untested by the heart's defiance? I would rather lose everything than live without the fire you've kindled in me. I find myself at the old staircase that leads to the hidden terrace, the place where the walls are low and the stars feel close enough to touch. It is where we first spoke without titles, without fear. I still remember the way your voice trembled that night, not out of fear, but out of truth. No one has ever spoken to me like that, not as a prince, but as a man who could be loved. In that moment, you stripped away every layer I was forced to wear, and for the first time, I felt seen. That memory returns now with unbearable clarity, like a wound I choose to reopen just to feel alive. When I reach the terrace, the air is colder than I expected, but the view is as I remember, endless and indifferent. The city below lies in sleep, unaware of the turmoil that brews within its palace walls. Above me, the stars burn without concern for mortal hearts. I wonder if they watch us as amusement or pity. Somewhere out there, you are awake too. I can feel it, the way one feels the warmth of a flame even when it is hidden behind glass. Distance cannot silence the bond we share. It only sharpens it, makes it ache with more precision. I think of my mother's voice again, calm, composed, yet heavy with judgment. She believes she is saving me from ruin, but she does not understand that ruin is not found in love, it is found in the absence of it. If she knew how deeply I think of you, how every word you've spoken echoes in me long after it's gone, she would call it weakness. But to feel this deeply is not weakness, it is rebellion. It is a declaration that even a heart born into duty still dares to beat for something uncommanded. And perhaps that is what frightens her most. There is a loneliness that comes with power, one that no counsel, no throne, no bloodline can cure. They all look to me as if I were carved from marble, incapable of trembling, incapable of longing. But in the quiet of the night, when the walls stop listening, I allow myself to be what they cannot imagine. A man who yearns, who hopes, who fears. You have seen that side of me. You've looked past the gold and seen the man beneath the crown. And that is why losing you would destroy me in ways no war ever could. Sometimes I think the world would be kinder if it simply let hearts choose freely. But the world I live in is not kind. It is carved in expectation, gilded in sacrifice. I am expected to be perfect, untouchable, immortal. Yet love has made me painfully human. You are both my freedom and my chain, my solace and my torment. And though I should wish for release, I cannot, because even in torment there is truth, and I would rather burn in that truth than live untouched by it. The torches flicker as the wind rises, and I know dawn will come soon. The court will awaken, the masks will return, and I will once again wear the calm face of their prince. But here, under this sky, I allow myself to whisper your name, softly, reverently, as if the stars themselves might carry it to you. My mother may speak against you, my brother may question me, but none of them will ever understand what you are to me. You are not a distraction, not a danger. You are the only part of this world that feels real. And even if the crown demands otherwise, my heart will always remember that truth. The air grows heavier as I leave the terrace and make my way through the hidden passage that winds beneath the palace walls. The stones are cold beneath my hands, ancient and familiar, bearing the secrets of generations before me. These corridors were once built for escape during times of siege, yet tonight they serve another purpose, not to save a crown, but to preserve a heart. My pulse echoes faintly in the silence, a reminder that I am not merely walking toward danger, but toward something sacred. Every step I take feels both forbidden and inevitable. At the far end of the passage, a narrow wooden door waits. Beyond it lies the garden, not the grand one that the court flaunts during festivals, but the hidden grove my father once called the heart's refuge. The moonlight spills through the leaves like silver rain, softening the edges of the world. And there you stand, as though the night itself conspired to place you there. For a moment, I do not speak. I simply watch. Your presence feels like the answer to a question I've been asking my whole life, one I never dared to voice aloud. When you turn to me, the world quiets. The rustle of the wind fades. The hum of the distant palace disappears. There is only you. I see the worry in your eyes before you speak. You've heard the whispers, felt the weight of my mother's gaze even from afar. You tell me it isn't safe, that love in this world is a dangerous thing to hold. I should agree with you. I should let reason rule where passion burns too brightly, yet the words refuse to leave my lips. Because how can something that feels so pure be called dangerous? How can a feeling that gives me life also be my undoing? I step closer, the distance between us shrinking like a secret being confessed. The scent of jasmine lingers in the air, and for the briefest moment, I allow myself to forget the throne, the bloodline, the endless demands of duty. I take your hand, not as a prince claiming what is forbidden, but as a man reaching for what is real. Your hand trembles in mine, and in that tremor, I feel the truth of us. Fragile, yes, but alive. The world beyond these walls would call it rebellion, yet to me it feels like salvation. You speak softly, your words almost breaking under the weight of fear. You say you don't wish to ruin me, that my family will never accept you. I want to tell you that I no longer seek their acceptance, that the approval of those who measure love by politics is no longer worth chasing, but instead, I only say your name as though that alone is enough to rewrite fate. And in your eyes, I see it, the same war that rages within me. Love for us is not gentle, it is defiance dressed in tenderness. It is a fire that dares to burn where cold is law. For a while, we simply stand there, no titles, no guards, no pretenses. Just two souls daring to exist where they should not. The moonlight paints your face in silver, and I memorize every detail, knowing how fleeting such moments can be. I know that when dawn comes, we will return to our roles. You to your shadows, I to my throne. Yet even as that reality looms near, I feel a strange peace settle within me. Perhaps love was never meant to be ours to keep, but ours to prove. Proof that even in the heart of power, something human still beats. When I finally speak again, my voice is quiet, steady. I tell you that no matter what comes, no matter what my mother says or what my brother schemes, this moment will not fade. That in the chaos of crowns and conspiracies, you will remain the truth that guides me. You smile then, faint and sorrowful, as though you know the cost of what we are, yet choose it anyway. The night feels infinite around us. We both know it cannot last. Soon, the dawn will come, and with it, the world's judgment. But for now, as I hold you beneath the watchful stars, I am not a prince, nor a ruler, nor a son. I am simply a man who dares